All right. Hello, everybody out there. Searching for a heart of gold, and I'm getting old. You are back on the slack line here once again with Jay Wow.
Wow.
And the boss.
The boss is coming!
That's a made-up dumb fairy tale name, you
Looks like a boss.
And we are here. It is the final full-length slackline with JWoww as co-host. He is heading back to his home country of Brazil, hometown of Sao Paulo.
Home country, not hometown, entirely new town, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Got a job already.
Oh, really? What are you doing out there?
Oh, it's easier when you have papers.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, man, I'm going to be working with film and video there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's better than drilling holes here, I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, it's been a pleasure. We made it. It's a long time we've been slacklining.
It's true. It's been a few months. I wish we had come up with the idea earlier and had been doing it longer. But maybe you'll come back and we'll do it, or maybe we'll do a vacation down to Brazil and the slackline will go on the road. We'll see what comes.
Yeah, man, that would be great. Actually, can you imagine you actually become very famous with the slackline and have 1,000 of people, and then I come back. And then I do a slackline with you, and it just come down to 100 people too. And then we would know what the problem is.
Dude, if the slackline becomes famous, you're quitting your job and you're moving back here to be a part of the slackline. Like, that's just what it is.
Can you imagine that?
Oh, fuck, I can't, and it would be awesome. But the slackline has some gifts for you today, sending you away from Canada with style with some Timmy Ho's coffee, some Canadian maple donuts, and one thing that I didn't show you before the cast that I will grab for you right now.
Wow, it's a surprise. Oh, man. Oh, what? Ah, come on, really? Oh,
that is a nice bottle of Crown Royal limited Canadian whiskey for you there, bud.
Thank you so much, man. Okay, there's a pause for a hug.
Yeah, for sure. Hug pause. Yeah, no problem, dude.
That's
Boris
awesome.
wants some.
Yeah, Boris came to lick. Wow, that's a beautiful bottle too, man.
Yeah, you enjoy that, bud. I hope that doesn't take you over your limit for booze going back across the going through customs or something.
I don't know if it does. I'm just gonna drink all the way in.
Yeah, just bring it on the plane.
Shut up.
It'll be done by the time you get there.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Oh, no problem, man. I really appreciate you helping out with all this stuff, and yeah, man. Love you. I'm gonna miss you.
Me too, man. Me too.
Bro,
it's
love.
time to say goodbye.
Bro, love. I did an episode. I don't know if you heard on the movies that made me cry on Monday.
No.
Yeah, I listed off 8 movies that made me cry and talked about them for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking. I was getting a little emotional just now thinking about you leaving. I had to turn away.
Yeah, man.
Look away.
Boris thought it was for real.
Boris, yeah, Boris.
Man,
actually,
man,
upset.
don't cry like that, Boris.
Boris is seeing a range of emotions from me this morning.
Oh yeah.
Hey, bud. Hello. Yeah, so, all right. Well, we'll get on to our topic maybe a little bit. We'll have Alex Guarino from Italy. Well, he's a Canadian permanent resident now, but he's a film director. He'll be joining us in the second half as Boris gets cozy between Joao and myself.
Yeah.
And but for now, until he gets here, we're going to talk a little bit about personhood. Yeah, we did a little brief research before
12-minute video.
12-minute video. My buddy Jerry, who sometimes listens, so shout out to Jerry, sent us a video this AM talking about personhood, and it's Crash Course for any of you people out there. You know I love Crash Course, and yeah, I just kind of went through different examples of what, you know, or forced you to think about what you consider a person, you know. I mean, intuitively you think it might just be, well, all humans are persons. But then, you know, you get into definitions of what is human and what is, you know, can people lose personhood? You know, when does something become a person? What about, you know, animals or potentially aliens, stuff like that? What did you think, Joao?
One of the examples the guy gave, and I always want to like to come back to this example because I think it was just brilliant. Is the film Her, with Joaquin Phoenix. You know, and the moment that she becomes a person, you know, what is it? Is conscience? But I think there's a lot of concepts into personhood that the guy throws it. Some of them he describes, but some of he doesn't describe. And it's kind of like, oh, okay, so we're going to have to start thinking from the scratch. But even like what conscience means, you know, what consciently means. So what is to be conscient? We have a lot of the people that are in a vegetable state that we're not sure if the person is conscient or not, you know.
Yeah, that one, I don't know. For me, as I thought about it, like Jerry sent me that this morning, and it was perfect timing because I was just about to take the B-Man for a walk, and so I watched this, and then I contemplated it for like an hour while I was walking him around, and yeah, it was, I don't know, I kept coming back to like, I only think humans are people, or I only think persons are humans. Like, I don't think you can be a person without being a human being.
Yeah, and I think we actually don't have to expand this right now. You know, I mean, I think that right now there's a actually very good concept because it allows us to separate what we should do for people and what we should do for animals. You know, of course we love pets, but sometimes you see people going way over the line to save or to protect this and to protect that. While in the world, a lot of people could be, you know, helped with money, help with care.
Yeah, but it's not up to you to choose how people spend their affection, right? And so, I mean, to say that, well, this money could be going to other better causes, I mean, that opens a whole different can of worms of what people spend money on. Like, people will spend way more money on a car than they would on a pet, right?
Sure.
So that kind of, I don't know if that
it's true.
really
That's
correlates all that
weird
much.
Because if you think about it, someone would spend much more money buying a car than just sending money to a country that needs right now. You know, you're not gonna send $20,000, but you're gonna buy a car.
Right. That's right.
I mean, it's kind of weird concept too.
Well, I mean, it's kind of beside the point as far as like what person is, I think. Like when you're talking about valuing people in a monetary sense, I don't think that's really the way to look at it. I would consider it more like a pet. Like you're saying, like we love our pets. I love Boris, and I would do a lot to keep him alive. Like if I had infinite funds, I would spend as much as it took to keep him alive.
Sure.
But I also recognize that he is still an animal. You know, as much as I care about him,
yeah,
he's an animal.
Sure.
And so are all other animals, and I think animals need to be treated with respect.
Even the
and
yellow
I think
ones?
Sorry?
Even the yellow ones, like Boris?
The yellow ones?
Yellow.
Yeah, he's kind of yellowish, orange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some respect.
Yeah, I think they all deserve respect, and I think that there's kind of a sliding scale for, not for respect for animals, but for compassion for animals as far as what their intelligence is, right? Like, we tend to offer more sympathy and affection for animals that show more intelligence and more humanness, I guess, closer to personness.
Okay.
Like, I was thinking about it. I was cleaning windows the other day, and I was trying to shoo bugs away. There was a bug on the window, and I just kind of like knocked it off the window, and it continued on with its life or whatever. And I started spraying this window, and then it jumped back onto the window, and I sprayed it by accident. And I was like, I actually kind of felt bad. Because I was like, oh man, like I was trying to get you out of the way.
Oh, that's
kind
of hippie of you.
It is a little hippie of me, but like, but it kind of correlates to what we're talking about. Like, do I think the bug? I don't know if it feels pain or not. When I sprayed it, it squirmed a lot. Is that pain? I don't know, right? And so
something that you could definitely relates to pain, but it might not be pain as we know it. But
right. Well, the point is like it's a living thing, and I killed it. Right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I actually thought about it yesterday before I even got this note. Like, does that lower my personhood a little bit as a person who sees life and thinks it's okay to take it?
I don't know.
Because I'm bigger and more powerful than that thing, and it doesn't really matter in the context of my world. Okay. Have I given up a little bit of my personhood in order to kill that thing?
I don't know, man. Did you become less of a person because you thought about that? That's my question. Because you know, you tell me that, and I have a very, I think a very unique approach to bugs. I just kill them. I used to be a Terminator. I had a Terminator. You remember this story? I used to have a.
Yeah.
So like, whenever I see like a spider or whatever, and I have something in my hand, I just splash it and kill it, and that's the way I do with fucking bugs.
That's fair, man. Like,
no,
I think that's fair.
But I never thought about in the other way. And then one day I was with Claire, and she had some roommates, and they were kind of like
hippie roommates.
Yeah, they were not hippie. They would like to think about themselves as hippies, but they would care more about animals than people.
Okay.
That's the other extreme. Anyways, we had some problems, and we were moving stuff around her bedroom, and I found a spider. And right away, I took my flip-flop, and I was going to smash the thing. And both of them were, no! And I'm like, what? I'm just like, this spider is going to bite me, man. No! And then they were just careful with the spider, and they put it back to the yard in a way that I've never seen them being as careful as, like, with Claire, let's say. They almost kicked her out of there because they were really not good with people.
Yeah.
But with the bugs, they were fine. So, like, that's also personhood, or...
Well, I wouldn't apply the personhood to the bug.
Sure.
I don't apply that to...
That, you see, these people would care more about animals than people.
Mm-hmm.
What would their...
What's their perspective
scale,
on
like,
personhood?
If we put personhood in the scale, what would that be?
I don't know. Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out, because I feel the same. Like, to be honest, if I see a spider, I will try to get it outside. Like, even like I'll trap it in a jar or something like that, and then put it outside before I'll kill it.
Okay.
If I can't really do that, and it's being kind of a pain in the ass, or like it's really if it's scary and it falls, I might end up squishing it, and that But I honestly feel bad about it. And so, and I feel kind of bad about all, like, even like I had a fucking insane infestation of wasps here last summer. They were all in the house. There was like hundreds of them.
I remember.
And I mean, I didn't feel bad about killing them really, because I knew that there were too many. There were too many. If there was one, fucking wasps, man, like I'll fucking snipe a wasp because I know it can hurt me. Whereas spiders, they can hurt me, but only if I allow it to, really.
Sure, but we are talking totally about bugs, which is totally different.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, let's get back on track about the personhood. So, like,
I mean, it would never kill a person.
I mean, I guess my point would be like, am I applying humanity to all living things that way? And is it like taking away from, because I have the will and ability as a person, I have the will and ability to exert my will over this beast, whether it's Boris or like a lot of animals, most animals. That's what puts us at the top of the food chain, right? We have the ability to exert our will in some way, shape, or form over pretty much anything.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so if you choose to exert that will and do bad with it, quote unquote, like killing something that is no threat to you, technically is like if you really think about it, it's kind of like fucked up. That's where I used to be more like this when I was like in my mid-20s and stuff. I didn't really think about it, to be honest. But recently I've been starting to think about it, just like, you know, this thing isn't a threat to me. It's an ant or it's a spider or whatever. Like, so what does it say about your humanity if you're willing to just...
I don't know, because you see some stuff are conceptual, they are intellectual, and we can maybe develop this kind of sympathy because we think about it. Other stuff, we were just born with it, you know. When we get sympathy for other human beings or our pets, or we develop a feeling that it's not, you don't have to think about that, you know. You don't have to think about humanity. You don't have to think about any of those things to feel it. Oh, Boris. It was the coffee cup.
Hi guys.
Hey. Okay, we have our guest here. Nice. Joined me.
All right. I guess we kind of lost our train of thought there.
No, I
you can
didn't.
throw
I
your
didn't.
headphones on there, Alex. Yeah, you should be able to hear us. You don't necessarily have to, I
You
guess.
could have lost your train of thought. My train of thought is always here.
All right, we were interrupted briefly by our good friend Alex Guarino
Hello.
showing
Sorry,
up.
guest as well.
He's here to plug some
Boris.
stuff and join our chat.
Yeah.
We were in the middle of a very interesting chat regarding personhood. So we'll let Joao finish his thought, and maybe you can jump in on what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So my friend of thought was probably talking about... We're talking about what makes someone person, and then we talk about animals, and then the last one was...
I thought you said you didn't lose your train of thought.
Yeah, but I lost it after you said that I did.
All right.
Yeah, I think we should just start from another point, man.
Well,
I
it's
think
my
I-
new.
Okay.
It's my first podcast. First of all, I'm gonna have to say sorry for my horrible accent. Sometimes it cannot.
Do not be
completely
sorry.
Understandable. I know.
It's very romantic and sexy.
Oh, sexy.
Yeah.
Sexy.
That's great.
Italy.
It can finish in a very different way. This podcast, if you say that.
Wow, it's gonna be an interesting podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, we can move on from the personhood conversation, I guess.
Sure.
Oh,
Thank you.
sorry. Okay.
Alex is coming to us. He is an Italian filmmaker.
Yeah.
Been here in Canada for a year and a half now.
Yeah, now it's like 1 year and a half to almost 2 years that I'm not even coming back from in Italy. So I completely mostly forgot about everything over there.
You still speak Italian?
Yeah. But yeah, thanks God I'm here with my boyfriend, so I
Right.
talk a lot in Italian.
Yes.
And sometimes I should probably speak a little bit more in English, but well.
No, that's okay. I
Work in
think you probably
progress,
get plenty of English practice with your friends
Well,
and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly. I just feel that it's... Oh, you have to tell me, by the way. It's a little bit improved from the school
Definitely,
time,
yeah.
so yeah.
Yeah.
That's already like a good step for me.
No, yeah, it's good, man.
As
And
an Italian man, have you ever been to a commercial drive?
No, never.
No, but you know that you know that's is the Italian road here, right?
Oh yeah, I've heard about it. I've heard that.
I've been living around that area. It's so nice, man.
And the food.
They have a
should be
lot of
very nice.
Italian.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, restaurants and like sometimes we get some cannolis and go back
that's
home. And
Where is this? I
Yeah.
love Italian food.
Man,
Where? On
Commercial
Commercial?
Drive, man.
Where?
Yeah, I've heard
Commercial
Just
about
all
it.
the way down Commercial?
just go all the way. You're gonna find a lot of Italian places.
Oh.
Is the drive
like
is
Little Italy?
Italian. Yeah, it's a Little Italy from Vancouver.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
The other day, actually, I had a haircut with the Italian man. It was an interesting thing that I had. It was a barber shop. My hair
Okay.
was way too long, man. I was working in construction. I was like fucking mess. Like, oh no, you know what? I'm gonna just cut my hair. I stopped by this barber shop. I was the only one there. Place smelled really bad, but you know, it was this old man there, looked
Well,
nice
yeah.
and everything. And the only question he did regarding my hair was, "Do you want me to cut a lot?" I said, "Yeah," and that was it.
Nice.
And that was the only
conversation you had.
question, the only question he has. Cut. And then whenever I said that, oh, maybe can you cut a little bit more here? He looked at me and said, "I know what I'm doing."
Yeah. Exactly.
I was like, "Okay, I'm sorry.
Really?
Yeah, continue on.
They can be very rude.
That is
You
sometimes.
funny.
can't say anything, man.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
know.
like you don't choose. It's $20. You don't choose the price. You don't choose what you want.
Yeah,
You have one question. Is that too much you want? Yes.
that's nice. For that
That's it.
price, you don't have to have questions. You just have to trust me.
There used to be
I understand
there was a hairstylist. I don't think he was Italian. I think he was like Hungarian or something maybe, but he was a barber that was near my old place in Calgary, and I would go there, and and I'd sit down and he'd go, long or short? And I was like, well, what's long? And he'd show me like the buzzer sizes, right?
All right, yeah.
2 buzzer sizes. I'd be like, short. Just
Gone?
going.
Oh,
Just going at it. I mean, it wasn't all like right down to the wood kind of thing,
Right.
but like he never used the scissors once,
No, really.
and then has this like centralized vacuum thing that he uses to clean off your neck or whatever. It's not like a brush. It's like a fucking springy vacuum hose that is just like.
Jesus.
But it was like $13, so and
Yeah,
he did a
exactly.
decent job.
That's great. I mean, I'm sure that I'm like overpaid. Probably my hairstylist. I'm gonna pay like $85 for my cut, and it's just the stupidest cut ever. But the point is, they use scissors. I think that's mostly why you pay a lot.
Yeah, I guess
Oh,
so.
this
Yeah, I
Italian
think
man,
so.
he used scissors.
Huh?
The one that Commercial Drive, he
Oh,
used
really?
scissors.
Oh, yeah.
He
Because
used scissors.
It just don't last
Is
too
that
much.
the
I
line?
think that it is. I think that's struck. the
I don't.
line of
Okay, well, how
the
about
price.
this? I haven't had a professional cut my hair in like probably 3 years.
Right.
Can
I have been doing it myself.
Can I be fair?
It's good.
It's the bonus of going bald is you can just
I'm
I
sorry, I was
know.
going to say
yeah.
that.
It's
I
honestly
mean,
the
you-
bonus of going bald. It's
you're
fine,
not,
man.
You don't have very, very, very
I know.
much.
I did it
know.
upstairs yesterday. I was like, you know what? The sides are getting a little long. Took me like 5 minutes.
I have a friend that is exactly like you. He's going bald and he just
Oh,
Rip
yeah.
her down.
Life sometimes makes you easy, like
Easy
thinking
choices.
easier. Yeah, absolutely. It takes choice for you. It's great.
The only thing that bothers me about going bald is that I am very hairy otherwise.
right.
Pretty much all over my body. So I'm like, why?
What's
Why is
happening?
my back
You're
covered in hair, but the top of my head is just like it's gone. It's going away.
so something is upside down. You're saying.
Yeah,
That's nice.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
very.
It's weird.
Well, you know, it's life. You know, there's the good sides of it. Like the good side of not being tall for 20 years is that I still can use my clothes when I was 12 years old. So, I guess I saved a lot of money.
And by the way, I have to say that hairy people here are very like there are people that are looking exactly for that because everyone.
Oh, I got no problem with
doesn't-
my hair,
yeah,
man.
Exactly.
Many women have been with me who
Right.
prefer it. It's not a problem. I have no issues about it.
You don't have any idea how many gay people are looking just for people with hair.
Oh, I know gay people are very specific
Oh,
about
yeah,
that.
they're like bears. obviously, right? So it's more like a lifestyle. It's not even like
I have a joke for this moment.
Okay, good.
Okay.
What is the noise of pubic hair falling on the ground?
I don't know.
well, I don't know. Yeah.
Oh God! What? Because somebody's spitting it out.
Oh damn!
That took me a second to realize too. I was like,
I love that.
I couldn't
phrase.
take it.
I was
sorry,
like,
yeah.
fuck, this joke just only works in Brazil.
sidestepping the pubes conversation.
Hey,
We have donuts here for consumption.
Sweet.
Canadian maple.
oh, I had one of those.
And an extra couple too for.
Thank you, Matt Carson. Thank you, Canada, for having
you.
maple and
Well,
Tim Hortons.
give me an advice.
Well,
Go Canadian.
yeah.
You want your PR?
There's,
Go
there's,
Canadian.
Yeah, exactly.
you have to have the Canadian one, and the other ones are your
This
choice.
one?
No, that
This
one. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks.
Oh, my fucking headphones are being a bitch right now. Hang on. Hello. Okay, we're good. Oh, what the motherfucker!
Oh, this is really good.
Yeah, it's.
I moved the donuts and my headphones don't work. There we go. I need like. Okay.
They only work with a certain amount of donuts on top of them.
They did.
Very
They-
sensitive.
I'm sorry. Okay.
it's okay. We'll save that for later.
Perfect.
Alex brought us some nice BC marijuana
Yeah.
to enjoy.
Yeah.
JWoww, as usual, does not partake, but I partake too much.
It's okay. It's
Yeah.
okay. I do other tricks.
I do
Yeah,
have to-
exactly.
I do tricks that people don't understand.
Well, Alex is here to discuss with us today his new film project, Ripple,
Yeah.
which is hitting StoryHive today, I believe.
Yes,
Well,
it is.
this will be it hit StoryHive yesterday. I'm gonna do my best to get this out tomorrow.
No problem.
Yes, hit StoryHive yesterday, so people can go out and vote. Why don't you give us a little bit of a spiel about the movie?
Absolutely. So the movie has been called Ripple, and it's a story about this young girl that she faced fragments of her future life, and she faces an abuse in her future life. So looking through it, she decided to move her life on another rail and try to change the things for her future, and everything will be more like a dark tale, a dark fairy tale, very arty, and I mean arty. I'm gonna say arty by myself. I
That's
shouldn't
okay.
do it full of itself. I'm sorry. So I will say surrealistic
Cool.
for sure, and yeah, it's more like an experimental movie. And let's see how. Yeah.
So a young girl sees her future,
Yeah, she.
and she sees how she dies,
No, it's mostly.
or she sees her abuse. Sorry.
Yeah, that she's gonna be in this abusing relationship with this guy,
Mm-hmm.
and she will make a choice about her future, and yeah, she will find herself in front of two different ways, and she needs to take a decision about it. It will be interesting.
And I remember we had a personal conversation about it. It's supposed to be kind of like a fantasy.
It is, yeah.
Sort of maybe Del Toro-in sort of thing.
Yeah, a little bit less, how would say, production design heavy. As everyone knows, I mean, it's not that kind of look of the movie when you have this beautiful setting that is really coming out from a fairy tale. They're great. Like this movie will be completely in a dark space without any walls. Just some furniture around
Okay.
to give an idea of the space that we are.
Mm-hmm.
But we decided to like set this movie in this black studio because the black that we call in the movie the void is one of the main character of the story.
Okay.
It's not just like something that I probably will think, but it's like an easy choice quote. But it's part of the story. This completely empty black all
That's
around.
cool. I like that.
So everything will be a reason, and also it will be a little bit more theatrical in some sort of way. So yeah, mostly it's this is the story. I don't want to say too much because it's
Oh,
also,
absolutely. Yeah, you don't.
it's
give it
also
away.
like 8 minutes, so it's very.
You could give away the whole story pretty quickly if you want.
absolutely. In 1 second. So it's just very. I always call it a feverish journey, and I think that it will be a good trip.
Since I met you and looking back to the films that I remember,
Yeah.
you done it. Your films are all, at least the ones that I saw it, always female driven.
Yeah.
As a male, what makes you what makes you talk about these topics that are so related to women?
I don't know. I mean, I always. Okay, I'm coming from theater in general, and I always I've been worked on a lot of theatrical piece, very the Seagull, or I don't remember glass, the Zoo glass. I don't remember the English name, but it should be that. And I've always obviously been in male roles and studied through that character. So how that male character could think in that specific time, in that specific age, and was very interesting. But I don't know. At the same times, I've always found that the female role around me, they were always a little bit more interesting, a little bit more with depth and with double meaning. And that was very interesting because I always found that the male actions, mostly in the acting, in the theatrical thing, are really straight way. Like they have a goal, and the actor and slash character just go directly to it.
Like less layers of personality.
On some sort of way, yeah. The in women and female roles, they always like fighting against this running of the man towards his goal. So they're always kind of interesting meaning in whatever they do. And this is what I'm trying to go through it. This is why I always decide to go a little bit more on female role, just to explore that other parts of human being and try to understand that, and mostly like looking forward also to have some review kind of about it, and like someone that tell me, oh yeah, sure, I had the same situation. Like mostly it had happened in the Fates. We had that in that short movie, that part when the two sisters talk in the living room at the beginning, and there was Emily, that was one of the makeup, that she came to me and she said, oh, that's she started to cry, and she told me that's a great moment because I did the same with my sister when we were young.
Okay.
And that for me, it's like, it's perfect. It's exactly what I'm looking for.
Okay.
Try to find the reality of the thing and see if my way that I'm going, it's
If the people could relate.
Yeah, I could relate, and it's
to-
also very trusty on like women's side and everything.
It's interesting. Like we see some. Sorry, man. We see some filmmakers like Almodovar, which is also
Yeah,
male.
exactly.
And he's always mainly talking about women in his films.
I love these movies. Yeah.
Yeah, and you see exactly what you said. You can see in his characters so many layers of human beings. You know, especially that it's hard to judge. You know, is he good? Is he bad? Is she good? Is she bad? Oh, but she murdered the guy. Oh, but also the guy was an asshole. You know, but so many layers of a character, and he does that perfectly in an hour and a half. We were talking about series and early on, and how we can relate to these characters because we can see more layers because we have more time with them. You know, instead of an hour and a half, we have seasons with those characters, and we can see that they are more complex than just that we can see in an hour and a half. But like Almodovar has this incredible ability to show you a lot of layers of one character, especially the woman character, in 2 hours, an hour and a half. You know.
Who is the filmmaker?
Almodovar.
Pedro
Almodovar. I don't think
Pedro
I've ever seen
Almodovar.
anything from
Oh
him.
No?
my God, it's
He's a Spanish
great.
director.
Okay,
Yeah,
I will check it out. That's
Yeah.
cool.
the old one, not the new one. Please.
I have a question, and sorry if this
Oh, go.
borders on offensive. I don't think it would. But as a gay person,
Yeah.
I'm curious about the like the abuse that might happen in that community, because whenever we read about like domestic violence and stuff like that,
Mhm.
it is almost always men on women.
Yeah.
And in heterosexual relationships, I don't think I've ever really read a news story about a gay couple having a domestic dispute. And obviously, I would think that those things happen just because of
Yeah.
statistics.
Yeah.
Like, why choose to set it, I guess, in a heterosexual setting? Or, like, is there something that, like, because, like I said, we never hear about it. Is that something that you really, like, think about or consider, I guess, that we're not really talking about those types of things?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough question. Yeah, for sure there are like all sorts of abuse also in a male-male relationship. I think it's talking about mostly abuse in the heterosexual version. It's more like an about of energy and power in society that drives also to these sort of like very cruel game in the couple.
Okay.
That there is a drive of who's the boss in
Right.
some sort of way, who has the power, and in some like in a truly sad way, it's pretty true that society it's more in thinking about the man as the powerful part of the couple. It's like we can always tell her, oh yeah, no, sure, it's not like that. Yeah, I know it's not like that, but we know that it's true, that there is this common idea, and we cannot just
Even the
ignore
expression, who's
it.
the
Yeah,
man?
exactly. Like
right.
all our conversation, all our words, or our language, and I mean in Italy too, in Italian too, and also in English, you have a lot of way to say something, but just for man parts, or just give an example as a man, and it's part of it's like how society changed itself in the long way. It's we just need to like make it a little bit different as a road.
Okay.
Because we all changed I mean, we have internet, computer, we have a lot of other way to discover new things, and it's obviously that also the word and the thought needs to change with it.
Yeah.
As a progression. But yeah, for sure, talking about, for example, the like gay couple abuse, this sort of energy between the two sides, it's a little bit different because we're both strong in some sort of way, right? So but this is what happened. You have then the bottom and the top. It's more a sexual part,
right?
So like the and everything, you still have that little
is that kind of a dynamic that leaks into the relationship?
Yeah, also.
Yeah.
It can also, like, talking about sex, it's everyone now is a little bit versatile. It's not anymore like all attached to top, all attached to bottom. It's a little bit of everything right now.
Was there a time where it was very strictly...
Yeah, exactly. But there are still some people that are like, they strict themselves in that role. And nothing like to judge about it. It's just a choice. But there's still people that says, oh no, I'm just a bottom. And that's it.
That's interesting that there's this sort of like
Myth.
Not myth, but like no, I don't want to say that. Like it's like traditional partner roles within the gay community that are sort of being moved on from now in a progressive attitude, just like we kind of have heterosexually, right? Like even the idea of a gay couple is a diversion from what is a quote unquote traditional marriage or whatever. It's just, I find it interesting that there's kind of a subset of a traditional culture within that, obviously, which makes sense, of course. Like, it's just
I mean,
culture I'm not a part of.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, it's like blah 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 blah. To answer to your question that about gay couple and abuse, there are, but they work in a different way. There are like some sort of way from the beginning. There are different things and types from parents that we know everything about, and yeah, but it's just another thing. I think it's go. Sorry.
No, continue.
For sure, it's something that we need to talk about it, but I can completely understand why there is some such a priority about women, because it's more like an hint for a change of society, how it works now, exactly as in the women role.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
One quick thing,
No.
I just had a thought of like how people view like physical violence in a relationship between two men, because like, I mean, if I was to have a fight with my brother, and we punched each other a few times or whatever, that's, or even like a friend or whatever, like that's just something that happens,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
Not very often, but it's something that happens. When you put it into a relationship context, I mean, it would never be okay for me to hit a woman, whether she was my partner or a random woman or a sister or something. But it would be okay in certain circumstances to hit a man. Like,
Sure, but it would never be okay also for your girlfriend to hit you in any way.
no, it's not. But socially, it kind of is. This is kind of more what I'm talking about. So like socially, like if you hear about two boyfriends that have a fight and actually comes to like fist fight, does that actually happen? Is that considered like, whoa, holy fuck, you guys can't be punching each other? Oh yeah?
I did it, yeah.
Okay.
With my actual boyfriend, at the beginning when we had a huge fight, we were very drunk. Probably that was like a plus in that moment. But the conversation was a little bit more physical and less worthy. In some
It's
sort
a
of
very
way.
Italian way of putting stuff.
I know. Yeah,
The conversation was more physical.
that's
Okay.
probably it is also these kind of things. It's also a cultural thing, but probably that was our first fight. I mean, I cannot really punch no one, so I can say that I just tried to punch my boyfriend, but I was so drunk that I was like in the air. He was mostly laughing. So was my very like high top moments of fight with him, and it was just very ridiculous.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I don't know. That's just kind of a thought that occurred to me while we were talking. Thank you for indulging me.
No worries.
You had something to say, I think.
No, you were talking about the violence between the violence in well, but then there's not a well, forget about it. I was going to bring it up the church and all the gay aspects happening to the abuse of kids of the same sex of the priest. But
That's
that is
totally
abuse.
separate.
It's a different.
That's not a
It's-
gay issue.
Well, yeah, it's not a gay.
It's
issue.
an abuse issue.
Yeah.
issue. Yeah.
Like the fact it's a repression issue. I think it's an issue of people that are it's people that consciously or unconsciously seek out a position of power that they can hold over young people that they are attracted to. Like it's a totally different dynamic. It's no different than the guy that goes and be's a doctor and ends up abusing young girls for his entire career that we talked about with Zoe. It's the same impulse.
You're right.
Yeah. I mean, I think there might be maybe this is where you're coming from. Like, part of a repressive regime, like a church or something like that is that, like a lot of times those outlets get expressed in non-healthy ways.
Yeah.
But that has not, like, that would more relate to people that are religious, that end up cheating on their spouses with the same sex because they are actually gay, but they can't express it because they are religious.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a separate issue from priests that are abusing young people.
Yeah. So just coming back then to the story hive. How does the how does it work?
How was it?
Dan, we'll take a turn.
What happened? Yeah.
How does the story hive work? Because I know that you like it's a pretty tight schedule, right?
Yeah. Now we'll start to vote. The votes start today, and that was the question. Like, how does it work?
How
for
does
the
it
vote?
work? Yeah.
So
yeah.
okay. We did a pitch with to StoryHive. We passed the first step. We
nice.
received an email. Yeah, that was great. And but now there is a second session that there is about the vote. So more vote we can take it, and more possibility we have to get our project founded from StoryHive and get $10,000 to produce it.
To produce, to pre-produce, produce, and finish.
Exactly.
Okay.
Everything. So this is it. We need to go on StoryHive page on 2018 Shorts edition and find a movie called Ripple and vote for it. And the vote starts from today, the 3rd, and will end the 6th of April.
Okay.
And you can vote once.
It's okay. It's the 3 days of vote.
Yeah, 4 days.
You can vote once and only for one project, right?
Yeah, you have 5 votes. You can vote or just max 1 for each project. So yeah.
You have 5 votes.
Yeah, so you can also go through all the page. There are like more than 200 pitches. Pitches? Sounds very weird. I'm sorry. Pitches? You can say pitches. It's word, right?
There's
I'm
no
sorry.
censorship
Don't
here.
Yeah, this sounds just very, very wrong.
Yes.
But yeah. And that's it. You can go through that and find also another project that could be interesting and vote for that and use the other 4 votes left.
So after you get the 10 grand, what's the step?
So
like you already have the script.
Yeah.
You guys did a teaser before.
No yet. We were looking now. We're looking now to pass the vote part. After 1 week, we should know who are the winners for this edition, and from that moment, I think they're gonna give you a sort of mentor to work with. And so you will start your pre-production and everything, I think, with this person also to just check that everything going on the right way, and you just go there.
And do you get equipment as well, or the 10 grand should be to rent?
Yeah, exactly.
Well?
You need to use it.
It's tight,
Can you add to the 10 grand, or you have to do it in 10 grand?
You have to do it in 10 grand.
You cannot like raise for.
Not probably StoryHive wants to be the first source. Mostly because that project goes on Telus TV and on their digital pages and everything. So I think they own that, and obviously they want to appear as the first source.
And you don't want to be like, you don't want to end up with you want to keep the competition like narrow-ish, right? You can't have something where somebody's putting in a thing with 10 grand and somebody ended up raising like $1 million somehow on a Kickstarter page.
Money doesn't make a film.
Money definitely makes a film.
Well, an idea make a film.
Yeah, that's a good point. But you need money to execute the idea.
Yeah, but
at least a little bit.
If you're creative enough,
it's true. You need some.
You need some, but not too much. Actually, sometimes too much money for a small project just spoils it.
Oh, I agree. I totally agree. Yeah.
But see a lot of shit that the people would just
throw it at it. Yeah.
I think it's more about competition now. Because I think in the past, like old movie like Evil Dead, the Rocky Horror Picture Show, like dead movies that were just made with people with mostly zero budget, and you can see that there were zero budget, but you completely respect the idea behind it and the effort to make it happen.
Yeah.
At that time, I think was or easier. Sorry, I think so. But now, like you have a lot of competition to make your project appear in some sort of way, right?
Sure.
The only way you can get away with it not appearing like very cinematic is if that's part of the story, which is like it goes to your point of like, well, if you have limited resources, then shape it that way,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You creatively.
Yeah.
But I mean, 10 grand, you can make an 8-minute short,
No,
a nice looking
yeah.
8-minute
Yeah,
short
yeah,
for 10 grand.
absolutely.
I
No.
think the only bugbear would be to rent all the equipment because.
Yeah.
Are you
do you
able
have,
to
like,
use
how many days
VFS
do you have to
resources
do
for
it?
that?
Yeah.
Do you have like is that the Crazy Eights that you have only like 3 days to do it? or
8 days.
No,
8 days.
Yeah.
you know, here it's a little bit more less tougher than Crazy Eight. So you mostly have I think I think they just give you like an end date, like for the 6th of August. Everything needs to be ready. Ready. So they don't really care about when you enter in production, pre-production or something. It's just that the 6th of August they want to have the movie ready on their desk.
Okay, well that's
Okay.
pretty soon. I mean,
Yeah, it is, but at the same time, it's like a very 8 minutes.
it's nice that you
short,
can kind of schedule your own shoot rather than
Exactly.
being like, okay, you have to have this weekend for
Yeah.
you. This is when we're shooting, and
Yeah.
that's when everybody shoots,
Yeah.
and it's a frantic thing. And
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, do you think? How is it? Because I always find it kind of little. Well, but I've done it as well. But it is tricky when you have to like this is 10 grand that is gonna go directly to the project.
Yeah.
Meaning you're not gonna be paid, and
No.
even if you were, it probably wouldn't be enough for you to live until August.
No, at all.
My question is, what's your take about having to make a living at the same time of having to work in a personal project that takes a lot of time? We've been going through that as well.
yeah, it's tough.
And how is it to make art in this sort of way for you?
I mean, for me in particular, that's the thing. I have a good background right now. We're like a couple, so it's like common money and everything. We had a lot of money aside from our past company in Italy, so that at the moment helps a lot.
Sure.
Just to focus on like movie that I want to make without wasting too much money on like, or not wasting because it shouldn't be wasted. But
Yeah.
put money in the project and keep it there to live. To make the project and give to it the
Or
most
time as
time
well, right?
possible. Yeah,
So
exactly.
your time can be dedicated to the project.
100% to that. And yeah,
Cool.
the most, yeah.
Yeah. You guys want to take a break?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
A smoke break, and
Yeah.
we'll come back here in a few
Yes.
minutes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, cool. Oh dear. We will be back with Alex Guarino on
Yeah.
the Slack line. Enjoy the music I'm gonna play.
Ciao, belly.
It's probably Crooked Spies. They're pretty sweet.
Nice.
Nice.
They're gonna become one of the sponsors as well, I guess.
They kind of are. They give us our music, their
Right.
music, which
Thank
is
you guys.
very nice.
Thank you.
So-
Oh yeah, I have to thank you guys and Aksel Boss for the lovely music since the beginning of Slackline. Yeah.
for
thank
sure. We'll be back.
Ciao.
We're standing ready. Lord, please, I could take a guess. Oh, would you please? We are ready. I'm lifted by the spirits of peace. I guess we're never going home. Never journey sunshine. Could never be alone. Well, I guess I'm well adjusted, but the pains they never leave, except for my feet. I keep my arms in my suitcases and my shoulders halfway down to the ground. There's definitely something cooking. The sky keeps on looking. shouting your name. I hear people shouting your name. People shouting your name. People shouting your name.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, how's that going?
Yeah.
Nice. Let's talk about your
Yeah,
projects, Max.
exactly.
We're back. We're back on the Slack line. Sure.
Because it's funny. I always come here and you have always some stuff lined up on the wall, some written. I know you have written some books and like you always have these things going on. So
that's true.
And I always see the puppet that you did for Boris doing the.
Yeah, he's not down here right now.
Anyways, what are your projects right now? What is the closest to be
closest to being a thing? I mean, it's probably tied between the stop motion project that I have. I used to do an animation, a comic on Boris.
Okay.
That I posted online.
Yeah, you told me that.
Yeah, and so Nick and I are making a stop motion. Nick Shevchuk and I are making a stop motion.
Great guy.
Yeah, we're gonna make a little minute-long trailer, and then hopefully parlay that into like a 20-minute short. That's all stop motion.
It's beautiful.
I've tried a few different things. I think I've moved on from the clay. The clay is really hard to deal with, and it's really malleable, right? So whenever you need to move the puppet, like all of it moves.
Okay, yeah.
And so what I tried actually is paper mache recently. Paper mache and different types of material that are like more like stretchy
Malleable.
and stuff.
Okay.
Malleable, yeah. And my last one was with paper towel. Apparently the J-cloths, those like really cheap washcloths, you know, that are like blue or whatever.
Yeah.
Apparently
Yeah.
those are really good. So I think I'm going to try that one next because the paper mache worked okay. It worked okay. My other projects, doing the hockey TV series. We're going to try to shoot a pilot in Calgary. That's on the go. I just need to edit together a little short video, and then we're hitting go on the Indiegogo, and
Oh, nice.
and we're hopefully shooting in July in Calgary. So that's probably the closest thing to being an actual finished project, because this stop motion thing will take fucking forever. What else? I wrote a feature that I've been submitting around to agents and stuff, and that's based on the book that I wrote.
Yep.
I condensed that into a feature that I think is pretty good, and I got a bunch of shorts and stuff. I always kind of got ideas. I got a book on the horizon that I outlined for while I was in Hawaii. I basically outlined like 30 chapters of a book while I was sitting on a hammock.
You really don't
And
like
I
to
ha-
surf.
Wow.
And I haven't done anything with it since, though. It's just outlines. But that one is a sad personal story, actually, about my non-engagement to my ex-girlfriend.
Okay.
I think it's the shortest Pulitzer Prize winning poem is called well, I don't know what it's called actually, but the poem is "For Sale, Baby Shoes Never Worn." That's the whole poem. For sale, baby shoes never worn. And that's a Pulitzer Prize winning, the shortest Pulitzer Prize winning poem. Okay. And I was reading that on the can one day in this book, and it gave me an idea for my own story, which is true, called "Engagement Ring for Sale, Never Worn." And so, or "For Sale, Engagement Ring Never Worn." And so it's about it's a modern romance that doesn't end up working out because like we went through a lot of stuff, pregnancy scares, drug addiction, that type of thing, family issues, and like is lots of up and downs. At the core of it, we loved each other, and in the end, it was not meant to be. Or so that's kind of what I think. It's a true reflection of what relationships are sometimes, rather than like, people forgiving each other for not necessarily unforgivable things, but just like things that people can't get past. It's like,
Yeah.
look, like once love dies, like it's hard. Like there's no, okay, let's get back together because you're not in love anymore. You know, it's a different feeling now. You know, and sometimes that happens, you know, before the relationship even quits, right? And like looking back on my relationship with her now, I can pinpoint these moments of like, oh, that's when that changed. Oh, that's when I should have said that instead of that. Oh, that's when I really realized she fell out of love with me, like that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So,
But how long was the relationship?
Close to 4 years, all said and done, from meeting her to end.
Yeah, I always get stoked. Like, I think my longest relationship was 1.5 years. I'm almost 30.
Yeah.
And I see these people that, you know, they've been 4 years married, and I keep thinking, how the fuck does that feel? Because I don't know. You were in a long relationship,
Yeah,
right?
9 years.
9 years. How does that feel?
Oh,
I like the breathing.
Yeah. I mean, it feels good, but we are not monogamy. We are an open relationship.
Oh, okay.
And I think that helps to bring things forward.
Okay.
And fight the, the boring part of stay 24H with someone.
Well,
it makes sense.
Was it always open, or
No,
you guys opened?
We opened it in Vancouver.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's a very gay-friendly city.
It's a very gay-friendly city, yeah. So, yeah, when we came here, we just watched around, and we decided that we want to make a little bit more experience and not just stop over there, mostly because we are planning to stay, obviously, because we're so romantic, or just stay together all life, whatever. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but this is mostly the goal.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, yeah, so if we want to stay together all life, we should enjoy, like, experience that at this age you can still do it, but without, like, the guilty part
Sure.
to hide it and everything, just open.
Without the
Interesting.
guilty part, but do you
Mhm.
still think, like, how do you manage with jealousy and all this kind of stuff? Do you probably have?
Yeah, absolutely. I cannot say that I'm not jealous sometimes. I'm very I'm gonna say here, because it's completely true and I don't want to hide it. I'm a little bit selfish on these kind of things. It's mostly like, yeah, I can do it because I know what I feel when I'm doing it. That I'm completely detached from that side. But
It'll be only an experience,
Yeah.
but you're not afraid that you're gonna fall in love.
absolutely. But at the same time, so when he does also like his stuff, I get a little bit jealous because I don't know what he's thinking and what he's feeling in that moment. And I would like to be like, just it's a stupid thing. It's a very selfish thing, because I should say, yeah, whatever.
That's interesting
But-
that you say that that's a selfish thing, because like I view that as like normal.
It
you
is,
know, like
yeah.
I think that like, not that what you're doing is not. It's
Right.
just that like I don't know. Like we've talked about it a couple times.
Yeah.
I've been given
Open
the opportunity
relationship. Yeah.
for open relationship, and like it sounded good to me at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And then as I thought on it more, I started to think like, no, because I don't know, like part of, for me, being a relationship or being like in love with somebody or whatever is like, allowing them the freedom
Mm-hmm.
to do them, like be who they are and that type of thing. And part of that, I think, is built on the trust that when you are out being yourself, it doesn't involve you straying from what this is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like your jealousy is justified.
It
And
is.
vice versa, his jealousy would be justified. Even though you've set up this arrangement,
Yeah.
emotionally, you can't control how you feel.
No, absolutely. Yeah, this is why I completely said here freely.
Yeah,
Because I like absolutely. I know that it's part of the game and everything, and I also know that I still need to grown up on this thing a little bit, because it's still a fresh thing. I never thought about it. That it could never happen. And it just happened. So I understand that there is a side of me that obviously said that it's the right thing to at least in the couple to make it work in the most easily and under the sunlight for both of us. But on the other side, you still have that quote cultural back thought that so probably something is missing or is changed in the wrong way, because that's not what you always see at the end of a movie, a story, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So it's just that back thought.
I don't know. I told Matt last time we were talking about it. I had some open relationships. The last one I had it, I don't remember ever being so sick. Like love sick, you know, like the kind of thing that one day blows up and you're like completely fucking lost. I was having this open relationship and denying that I felt insecure or I felt jealous or and one day I was just like, fuck, no, let's stop it. And it was really all of a sudden. And the girl was really confused. She was like, well, you told me you loved me yesterday and now you want to stop. And I didn't know how to deal with it. And
well, that's an easy explanation. I do love you.
Yeah.
And you are fucking other people. Like, I don't like that.
But I was as well.
Yeah, but...
And you know, and by the end of the day, for me, it was just more stressful and harder to deal than a close relationship that in my head, the only thing that I would have to deal is to say no to my desires sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, for me, that's was the only downside of it.
Yeah, well, my thought on it was, like, from your perspective. So I didn't actually end up in this situation. So from your perspective, don't you go into that with, like, okay, so are you saying yes to this open relationship thing and then going off and doing your straying? Or are you approaching it from, like, I do want to have that, and like, I do want to have, you know, the individual fun and random sex and whatnot, and also this open relationship? Or are you just placating this person because you like them? Because that's the problem right there.
Yeah, I think that was actually the problem. Like, you know, I don't think I actually chosen, but I actually went with what we could have had.
Yeah.
Because I know that if it was a close relationship, she would end up cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and
but there is no
and
cheating.
when you open, there's no cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's still a feeling of cheating. And I know that she doesn't even, like, she's a good person, but she doesn't even admit that she could be jealous.
Right.
And when I told her, you know, we were in the real open relationship, and when I told her that, you know, she would corner me and say, oh, where were you last night? I sent you a message and you only sent me a message back today in the morning. I mean, we're not living in the same city. So it's not that it's like if she was afraid that I was, you know, doing something else. But she had this very good intuition to know whenever I was with another girl or not. And she used to say, no, don't lie to me. Just tell me. So I would say, and she would get really upset.
Yeah.
So, like, and then after she would deny
Bullshit,
that it
man.
was jealousy. So it was.
I mean, also because it was a long distance relationship, that gives another layer about I really don't know what he's doing.
See, that's to me, like,
tough.
We've talked about it before, but there's a difference between being single and having people that you go to for different reasons versus being in an open relationship with somebody and having people you go to for different reasons. Like, when I hear, and maybe this was where this girl and I disconnected, but when I hear open relationship, I think, like, okay, so we're dating. You and I are boyfriend and girlfriend, but we are free to go about our business otherwise. Okay, I was open to trying that. I was like, okay, I've never been in that type of situation before, but I like you, and so, all right, let's see. And what it ended up actually being, I think, what she wanted was more just another person to add to her black book to call whenever she felt like she needed whatever it is she wanted from me, which I think was just like maybe stimulating conversation and a little bit of sex on the side.
Okay.
And so it threw me for a loop because I'm like, wait, but that's not what you said. Those are different things. So if we weren't going to be in an open, quote unquote, relationship or whatever, that's then, I don't know. It's just, what's the line on that?
I have to say that probably I don't know at all how straight relationship works. Open, like
That's
straight
fair.
open relationship.
That's fair.
That's like I think it's another word.
Well,
because,
another
yeah.
issue with this woman was she is bisexual too. Not an issue. Initially I'm like, oh yes. And she's like, oh yeah. So sometimes maybe I come home with another girl. I'm like, yes.
Oh my god.
Finally,
But then,
after
but then,
25 years of search.
but then you think about it, and I'm like, wait.
Does that mean
That means literally everybody is in competition here. Like, beautiful women, beautiful men, it doesn't matter. She's a beautiful woman.
Mm-hmm.
She can have whoever she wants.
Mm-hmm.
That's just life.
Yeah.
I can't. And so, like, an open relationship between a man and a woman, I think, is different in that way, where, like, most men don't have the capability to just, like, go to a club and I mean,
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that. It's if you really want to target it, it's pretty easy, but, like, not your choice. You know, your choices in the quality of person that you might end up hooking up with, if that's your sole purpose on a single night to be like, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna have sex with a person tonight,
Right.
your quality might end up suffering if that's your only goal, because you're only going for sex. And so anyways, whereas a beautiful woman, her quality will never end up suffering. She can have whoever she wants. If there's a hot guy that she wants in the club, she will go shake her butt in that guy's crotch, and that guy will be hers to do whatever she wants with. If she sees a hot girl, I don't know. The hot girls might have more competition amongst each other. I don't know. Okay. But, like, for me, from my vantage point, I'm like, what do I have to offer over, like, the whole world? If this is a open relationship, every single person is a threat to whatever that relationship is. And maybe that is selfish, but, like, I don't view that as selfish. I just view that as, like, okay, maybe wanting to be monogamous. Okay, so fucking sue me. I feel like it's a bad way now.
Yeah, I feel like I'm really square because I can.
It's true, man. Almost every girl I talk to is, like, totally on board with this type of thing, and I'm like, and I feel if I say I'm not, then I'm, like, anti-feminist or some bullshit. Like,
or even worse. Not worse. I'm sorry, but. Well, maybe worse at the moment. It's not that you're anti-families, but you're probably gonna not end up hooking up with a girl because you're too square. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Anyways, well,
Yeah.
Maybe
that
I'm
makes
wrong.
sense.
I'm gonna give you my take on that, but
Right.
it may be for me.
Okay,
I
go.
would like to know what it is for you, but you've been living this a while. But for me, I can't have it both ways. You know what I mean? For me, it's nice to be in a relationship, but I also, when I was single, I would love to have, all different women, and who doesn't, right?
Yeah.
But also, I got tired of that, and then that's why I wanted a relationship, to have someone that you really care for and love for, and not only sex, but you cook for, and you have conversations, and you guys do stuff together that's meant to be a couple. Versus having a lot of people involved in the story of endless sex. So for me, that I just can't see how I could conciliate both the stuff. That's it for me. It is a little bit frustrating, but I can't have it both. I know that for a fact.
Right.
And
I mean, no, yeah. This is more like everyone has his idea. I feel that, yeah. I mean, at my point of view, it's like no pressure. I don't feel any pressure to, like, I have to do it in some sort of way. But I think also it's a different for how many time I've passed with the person. Like, I've passed 9 years. How many years were for you, Matt?
4.
4 years.
2 months.
So that's
No. It was a little bit more.
Yeah,
it was like
well,
a year in a kind
okay.
of open relationship.
Okay. So, well, I don't know. I think it's been also a change of culture, like coming here from Italy and have another kind of word that just brings you to try. But it's not even that kind of pressure that you feel behind it, that you have to do it. Like, I don't do it every day. I'll do like once every 2 weeks. So it's like very rarely, just when I want to try something different, but the all other, and it's something that it's like 2 hours that brings me like away from my boyfriend. So the all other days, the all other time, I'm always with him. So it's more like not even a thing. It's just I don't know, like a scratch. You said?
Yeah.
Like yeah.
Here, okay. My question on this is like the wanting something different.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is it? What difference is it that you're looking for? Like, because to me, like, okay, so this is obviously it seems purely sexual, right?
It is.
So, if the difference you're seeking from other people is a sexual thing, do you not feel, or maybe you guys have already had this discussion, but like, do you not feel like it's like your partner should be trying those things with you, or you should be approaching them to be like, hey, I want to try this, and if they don't, then maybe that's a deeper conversation you need to have. But for me, like especially sexually, when I was with a girl that I loved, like, I fuck do anything, like I don't care, like let's try it, like it's up to, like, that's part of, you know, growing together and trying things, right? So what, like, I mean
well, it's also going over your limits sometime, and you
Going over?
Going over your limits that you always have in sex, because sex it's a fucking complicated topic in general with everyone. There's like so much thing that people imagine and do it and discover and put it on, and people see it and want to try, and it's like a fashion thing. Like, you need to stay all the time updated about what's going on that. And like, talking about mostly gay culture, it's so much full of these things. It's so much full of like the weirdest things ever. Probably because men are like instinctively a little bit more
sexual.
Yeah,
perverted.
a little bit more. Yeah, exactly. This is why it's more easy for, I think, a guy find someone to like have sex. I could now like light on my phone, and I'm telling you, in 15 minutes, I can probably find someone immediately, just in 15 minutes, because it's so much crowdy outside that it's crazy. And that crowd had the most crazy imagination ever in sex, that sometimes, by the way, can teach you also something about yourself. It's because sex, it's not something that hands over there. It's not like that moment that it just, you done, she's done, bye-bye, and that's it. It's an experience. Sometimes it can teach you something, and I think this is how sex should be.
Something about your body.
Yes, and about your body, about your limits, about your persona, about everything. It just tries something different, and there are some times that you have the other side of the couple that says, okay, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, this is my line, I
Yeah,
can
it's
go
true.
over. And that's completely fair. And I mean, if you want to go over that line, you need to find maybe something else, someone else.
Yeah, to me, that would be the end of that relationship,
Right.
probably.
But depends also what how it's gonna happen in that moment. Like, if it's gonna be, I mean, this is my thought at least, like a common thing, something that happens so much often than I thought. Like, I don't know, we're together, I said no, and you're like, oh, I like to be like slapped, whatever,
Okay.
and cry like a baby, and I'm like, man, I really can't. But you could find someone, and I'm telling you, yeah, just go and try and see what happens. Sure, and if I see that you'll do it once a week, and then happens 2 weeks, and then happens 4 times a week, that when, at least for me, the problem rise up, because that's like,
That's
okay,
fair. It's like,
so,
okay, so this is something you really,
you're
really want in your
going
life.
through it.
Okay.
I can't give
I see.
you that. So if it was that thing that once a month you want to do it, or once every 2 weeks, okay,
Interesting.
absolutely. But if it's a thing
For me,
that,
but for me, that's the kind of problem that I ran into when I had a distant relationship. Is there? We talked about that. Is that there are so many rules that it looks for me that had more rules than a close relationship. You know, I was with the girl and she was like, okay, but then we can have this and we can have more people and with us. We never ended up putting more people into the relationship. We could have, but we never did. And like some rules that were set up, but they were not told is like, okay, if you go with me to a bar, you can't hit on other women, and if I go with you to the bar, but this was never laid down before we chose to be in a relationship. So I don't know.
It's just like laid down as it comes up. Like, oh yeah, I'm not cool with that. Oh, but okay.
It looks for me that we actually, for me it looked like we might as well just make a document on Word with what we could and what we couldn't do and sign it, because Jesus fucking Christ, like I don't know what I can do and I don't know what can I do. Like, it's too complicated.
Man, I actually said that to this girl, and I'm pretty sure that was the moment that it clicked off for her.
All right.
I made a joke about like, I feel like I should be signing a contract, and then I'm pretty sure she didn't like that joke.
Well, but it's not a joke, man.
I know, it's true. It's
exactly.
true.
It needs to be a free thing. Like I don't understand why all the rules.
I see what you're saying as far as like, okay, so you want to try something that I don't want to try.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, like, I mean, and again, like this is pretty personal. So,
go.
Okay,
No
so
worries.
like,
I don't care.
if you have like you see something online, you're like, I want to try that. Do you approach John with it first? Or is that something that you're like, okay, like you've been with him long enough, you know that that's not his thing. I'm going to seek this elsewhere.
No, I'm going to talk with him firstly.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So I'm sorry. I'm going to
go.
put this in like a very, very rude way maybe. So it's not the same way of like, I feel like I want to jerk off and like just do it. It's more of like so you're actually having... it's different.
It's very open. That is the open communication.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
That's probably
it's an
most
open
of what you
communication,
need
but
there.
it also implies that you have to have permission. Like, you know what I mean? Like you wouldn't ask for permission to go and
No, I'd say it's just a courtesy of trust with your partner.
Exactly. I never asked to him, can I? The only thing there is a passing of information and like mostly oh my god, we face each other on the person, like, okay, I met this guy, this is it, and sometimes he can talk with him to check it out if the things that he's telling me they're right or not.
And most people are cool with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wait, he can go to the guy that you're gonna date and say, hey.
Oh no, it's more like a sneaky thing, because I have a profile, he has a profile, and sometimes when I don't feel like right on this guy because it seems weird, though, or I just tell to John, can you just talk with this guy, and says blah blah, and if he says the same things also to him, okay, well, so probably it's a good guy. It's just weird.
I see.
But yeah, so it's mostly like that. But I never ask, can I? I mean, mostly because I know when someone. There is like also an open communication between gay people. There's no like, I'm gonna hide something. The first like the conversation in chat, Grindr, Scruff, Bear, Growls. They all start with.
I only knew about
Grindr.
I
know. It seems like another language, but
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like,
I know Grindr's like Tinder for gay people.
Tinder, gay social network.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
Gay social network. But like the communication in that chat, it's really forward.
Yeah.
It's like,
that's what I heard about.
Yeah. Hi. What are you looking for? Fun. Good. What do you like? I like pissing. Whatever. Cool. I'm not good in it. I'm not gonna do this one, but I can do this one. Are you safe? Any disease? No, I'm not. Cool.
Wow.
Do you have any photo? Photo face. Oh, nice. Do you have dick photos? Sure. And then like tons of that. They just give you one for the face,
Okay.
but the penis part, they just like a book. It's like
I know many
six-
women
oh
who would
my
attest to
God,
this.
it's like
this is when he was 6
Yeah.
months, and this is when he.
It is.
my first erection.
Yeah, 16 photos of that and just one of the face. That probably it's not even so recent. Sometime.
Why?
And it's like, wow, but
Why
man.
is dick so important in this?
For some people it is. For me, it's not really, because I'm not having fun with your. I mean, yeah, I'm having fun with your dick, but I'm having fun also with what is dragging
whole-
this dick around,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, it seems very rude.
No,
but
it
this
is
is
true,
how
it's
it
true.
works.
I like
Yeah.
it.
So this is it. But there are some people that just don't really care either about the photo. They just sometimes they don't even send to you. Well, some of them because are married, some of them because whatever. But some of them are just like, yeah, I don't care photos. So I'm gonna blinded fold, come
that's
in,
their thing.
my ass is up, and have fun. And it's like, I can't. Like me, that's my limit. I can't do that, because if you don't care about who am I and you ask me to do that, you, first of all, you don't have a lot of respect for yourself. I'm not judging you, but at least for me, I will never do that, because I will feel that I'm like
You're just a thing.
using your thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. I can really jerking off, and it's more fun
Or
than
just
that.
get a
But that's
robot.
my thought. I'm not judging like anyone that is doing it. It's for sure a fun thing, but it's really not for me. I need at least to speak with the guy for 5 minutes
Okay.
to see if everything seems right.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not, I'm just gonna go.
Interesting. That's an interesting sort of. I mean, we got like a really well-rounded sort of table of
Yeah.
of relationship experience.
Oh, that's
here.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should have a girl here
I don't know. Like for me,
to have another take of it.
for me,
Yeah, true.
I don't know. Maybe I don't really have many very specific sexual fetishes to the point that I feel like it's something I need to seek out specifically. I'm coming through really quiet. Yeah, sorry. But yeah, I don't know. Like, okay, so a good example for me would be I've had anal sex once when I was like 21 or something, 20, with an ex-girlfriend. I like it. I watch porn that has anal sex in it sometimes.
Wait, she did to you?
No.
Oh,
Other
okay.
way.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
No, I mean,
Sorry.
you can make
Yeah,
that.
it's fine.
That would be okay.
No, that's
no,
fair.
it would be,
Some people
oh,
like
man, that would be like, oh, let's open another topic
That
about it.
you know, that's an interesting topic because sometimes that comes up amongst guys with like this girl like stick her finger at my ass. Like, did you like it? Like, I don't know. Did I?
Oh,
It's a very like
it's great
conversation. Yeah,
Come
that's
on.
funny.
Yeah, everyone like it.
I've never experienced that side of things.
Do it.
Maybe I'll try it one day.
Yeah.
That's the type of thing that, like, again, like if a girl is gonna be like, I want to stick my finger in your butt, I will be like, all right, that's up to you. Like, I guess so.
Yeah.
But like I enjoyed it when I had anal sex with my with a girlfriend a long time ago. I haven't had it since. It's never really come up. There's been like butt play and stuff like that before. And I enjoy that. Most women seem to really enjoy that. But like, it's not something that if I said to my girlfriend like, hey, I'd like to try putting it in your butt, and she said no, that's not something that I feel like I would need to be like, well, I really but like the anal
That's
sex
a
is it's
break.
good, so I'm gonna go fuck somebody else in the ass. You got to be cool with that though, okay? See ya. Like,
right.
I mean, if I really wanted anal sex that bad, then I would say, you know, not at that moment maybe necessarily,
Right.
but like eventually you'd realize this is not working for me. That the same girl that I had anal with, ironically, she did not like me going down on her.
Oh, okay.
We lost our virginity to each other. We dated for like 4 years almost. So like we were very comfortable
nice.
with each other.
Yeah.
You know, even 3 years in, I start to go down and nothing, and
never-
she wouldn't want to go down on me either. Like to the point of like I'd be like, why? Like I want to do this. Like I enjoy it. I want to make you feel good this way. Whatever.
Yeah.
And like it brought her to tears one day about how she didn't want me to do this and stuff like that. And it was a realization for me after being with her for like 3 years. It's just like, that's long term. That's not going to work. Like, I don't care how much I really care about you as a person. Like, that's just physically not going to work. Like, And then I don't know, like I never really got it when my buddies would be like, oh, like really wanting to fuck somebody that wasn't their girlfriend, you know, or like really felt like that was like a threat, you know, to themselves. Like, oh, I can't like, I can't handle that one girl, man. She's so hot, like, blah, 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 or like, or, you know, or just like not having a trust in themselves, or like, man, I would look at it when I had a girlfriend, like my girlfriend is like the hottest person in the room and I get to go home with her. Like, that's cool. Like, why would I need to care about anything else? Like, I don't see how people aren't, if you're not like that with your partner, then you need a new partner, I guess, is like my philosophy on it.
Right.
Personally.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Sure. You can, yeah, that's for me, for example, is a step for an open relationship, but it depends also from the individual. It can be like, oh, well, it doesn't really make the effort to go around and find someone that wants to do anything. I just prefer to have like someone that it's a, I'm sorry, I'm gonna say like very rude, a full package.
Yeah.
That wants both. So great. Yeah, depends.
No, it's interesting that. Sorry, one final thing is just like, I think what you have described sounds very healthy to me. Like, as far as like, you know, and you guys have very open communication with each other about it, which is what is the most important thing. And like, as for me, as long as there's like no sneaking around about it, of like, like you're saying, like, oh well, you don't need to know where I am, I don't need to know where you are, and it's like, well, then we're not in a relationship. We are in. I am single and you're in single, and we fuck sometimes. That's a different thing.
My question would go around this so it's not that this doesn't happen in a close relationship, but wouldn't you be like, wouldn't this even like go through your mind, or because in mine it would go like, okay, so let's say that you know, go through the app and you met someone just for sex, but you actually, man, it's the guy is just like amazing.
Yeah.
You have like amazing sex, and you connect in a way that you're not connected to your boyfriend anymore, and blah, 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 blah. Like, the risk of you actually, you know, okay, fuck, I don't want my boyfriend anymore. I want this new guy because, you know, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Doesn't this pass through your mind that this could actually be
I think that's the healthiest thing that could ever happen. Like, if it's not like it can happen, but at the same time, we always talked also about it. Like, we talked about a lot of shit, like the most weird things that pass through our mind. We just always talk and face, and we love talk about it, and we always put that in the conversation too. If it happens, you just need to be sincere. If that one makes you more happy than me, why you should stay with me? Because if it's gonna give you that much, just go for it. I mean,
this is easy to say.
Yeah,
but
after
it's
9
easy
years
to
and you're living with each other,
Yeah.
like, that's a totally different conversation
It
than
is.
like with somebody you met a couple weeks ago.
But we've been through, like, when we were at the VFS, I had a crush on someone, and I just told to him, and we broke up for a bit, and he was like, obviously you have the first 48 hours that are like the worst and horrible thing ever, because he's just crying, he's just angry things and everything, and it makes totally sense. I will never say that if it happens, I'm gonna tell to him, he's gonna say, oh well, that's great, you found another man, just go for it.
Yeah.
No, obviously there will be a long conversation about, okay, what happened, and blah blah blah, and go through these things and see if he really can replace it. But at the same time, so what we've been through after 48 hours, there's just the moment that you said, you know what, having you at home, that I can see you, that you're thinking about something else, so probably it's better that you take 1 week away from me and just think about it. If you want to see him, go. And if in 1 week you're still on this idea, so we'll be. That's the thing. But,
Okay.
like, it's I'm gonna make it. I put it very in the simplest way, but it's always
tough
full. It's a tough thing. So, but I never put myself out from this idea. I never said it could never happen. We know that there is this risk, and we'll go through that.
You know, it's
I
interesting.
just
Go ahead.
sorry, it's just it kind of reminds me,
Mhm.
not very much because I don't think there's the same rights, but let's say that instead of these apps today, you go to seek for hookers,
Right.
or prostitute men. They call hookers.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, gigolos.
Okay.
No, yeah, well.
I don't know if gigolos only have
I
sex with
think-
women.
Yeah, I will say
Well, let's
probably
say-
escort.
Okay, let's say
That might be a
escorts,
politically correct.
because
Yeah.
maybe that's for me there would be a vision that would be, I don't know, it's simpler.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if I had a girl and I would say, oh, like nice, but sometimes I would have to go and and find some hookers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a.
Because then there's no, for me, at least in my head, I could be completely wrong. There's no, the feeling of like I'm gonna lose you. It's not, because it's like a service,
Yeah.
and it's done for one thing, and that's it.
Yeah, but well, I don't know if I could ever pay someone to do that.
Yeah.
What if
that's more
someone
than-
else paid for you?
Oh well, yeah, sure. Call me. I'm gonna leave my phone here. 6. No, yeah, well, no, really. But for me, the action to like buy a service from another human being, it's like, man, really, I don't care. I want, like, it's a thing that I really want.
Why
to
does he
enjoy.
need to do that? He can have anybody.
That's
on
what
like
I'm
15
saying.
minutes.
If there
free.
was not this apps,
Well,
and
you
this
can't
kind
really
of
answer a
stuff.
question if.
Well, I did.
No,
I mean,
but my
before-
question is,
Well, I mean, you were obviously gay before Grindr
Yeah.
was a thing.
Yeah, exactly. I met John on chat when internet was just at the beginning. There were already gay chat, obviously,
Yeah.
so fast.
They're way
And
ahead of the
yeah,
game.
well,
probably
they
was-
just discovered.
there was
yeah.
probably like gay chat before the chat.
Oh, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah,
gay-
probably
gay
they-
mail.
Probably they made internet.
Gay
If
mail
we were
before
asking-
email.
Oh, we should find someone to fuck. Why we don't make the line that connect all the world? Probably that was the real reason everything grew up. We should think about it. Yeah, and it works. It works
Skype as
greatly.
well. Oh, we're so far away from each other.
Yes.
Honestly, it was porn.
Yeah.
Kind of that born the internet.
That's true.
Porn?
Yeah.
Okay, well.
See,
So-
sex drives everything.
Yeah.
It's fucking
Oh, it
great.
really does.
It
But
does.
continue your thing.
No, well, I lost my point.
We were talking, John, before.
Oh
before
yeah, yeah. I
Grindr.
met him on this chat. It's very fun because I was talking with another guy. That was a very a real pig. Like he wrote me the worst thing ever. I was I don't remember how old I was. I mean, I was 9 years ago. I was 21. No, fuck. I was 22. Anyway. Yeah. Damn.
You can say early 20s.
Yeah, early 20s. But yeah, and I was talking with this guy, and he asked me like the horrible thing. But I was like, I'm never gonna meet him. I'm just gonna write it back. Oh yeah, I would like him. Blah blah blah. And this guy at a certain point said, you know what? I have another little pig here that will like to do this stuff. And I was like, oh well, okay. And this was Gianluca, but I never know it. At a certain point, this guy, we were like in 3 in this chat, the private chat. And this guy started like to tell, I'm not going to repeat it because it's very horrible, the worst thing ever, we should do this one and blah, blah, blah. And at a certain point, Gianluca wrote me a private message on that, told me, man, this guy is completely sick. And I was like, oh, well, I was thinking exactly the same. He's just a long monologue.
Are you a normal person? I
Yeah,
am a normal
exactly. And I think this guy is just really jerking off meanwhile he's writing. He doesn't really want to do something. He's just like a long monologue and not even 3 words stop, 3 words stop, 3 words stop. It's like it's not even into it. It's probably his hand is on something else. And so I started to talk with him, and we're like, you know what? You seem so like a normal person. Why cannot we meet each other just for a coffee? We meet each other, we had sex, and
then you had coffee.
yeah, and then I had coffee, and I present myself. Oh, by the way, I'm Alex. It happens a lot of time. It sounds horrible, but it's a sad truth.
No, it doesn't sound horrible
yeah.
to me.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, and so that's it. And this is how I met Gianluca. WeChat in like the filthiest way ever. I found someone that was kind of healthy. Kind of.
Yeah, it's
But,
interesting, man. While you were kind of talking about the last bit with you and John breaking up and how you kind of came back together and stuff.
Yeah.
It made me think about just like love in general and what that really means and like what you're willing to kind of forgive for it. Like, I mean, I know like people might call it whipped or something like that, but I know like if my ex like showed up at the door and like admitted like she was like cheating on me our whole relationship but still wanted to be with me right now, I would say I didn't care.
Okay, yeah.
Like, as long as it didn't happen from here forward, I don't give a fuck what we did in the past kind of thing. Like, let's start again fresh kind of deal, which seems like sort of the approach that you guys took.
Yeah.
Like, I think that is, I mean, that's like an undying love for somebody.
Yeah.
Like, because most people, if they said that to you, like, oh, I've been with somebody else for the last week or whatever, or I met somebody else. Like, as soon as those words leave your mouth, you don't even have to express what you did or said or had done with anybody else. I met somebody else. Feelings erupt at that point, right? They're gone.
Right, yeah.
I don't know. It's an interesting kind of take on love of just like, well, what are you willing to go through or forgive or be a part of in order to be with somebody that you really care about?
Love, but also, I don't know. I told you the story as well. When we were having the open relationship, nothing had happened until she said that she met someone else. And it was a girl. If it had been a boy or a guy, I think I would be really upset.
Right.
You know, because,
it's not competition with you. It's nothing that
it's nothing
you.
that
It's
I
like,
don't
I
have.
obviously don't have what she has.
Absolutely.
And that passed through my mind. Okay, I mean, I can't, grow boobs or, take off my dick. It's not detachable.
Yeah, that line is very far away
for
from me to be.
But, I'm not sure that. Like my first thought was okay, girl, but afterwards it became a problem because then it was actually a relationship with me and then a relationship with her as well.
Okay.
And I had a relationship with other girl as well. So it's like.
It's almost like some of this is complicated or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is complicated. It's Brazil too, so
different cultures as
That's
well,
great,
for
yeah.
sure. Yeah, that does play a part in it. Obviously, I mean, it played a part in your guys' thing.
Well,
as well.
yeah.
I mean, you show up because like I don't know how friendly Italy is for gay people.
It's really not. Let's
No?
say it. No, it's not. It's just very. There are like a lot of people.
Is Europe
that are
in general pretty kind of
No.
backwards on that?
No,
Because I feel like
no.
it
I
should
think
be
France is
progressive.
pretty open,
comparatively.
no?
Yeah, no, absolutely. They are
Yeah.
in France.
maybe inside the countryside of France, not too much.
Oh no.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of the countryside of anywhere.
Yeah.
When you say France, people always just talk to Paris,
Paris, yeah.
and that's by the way, it's not even that far away from reality because it's so huge and all the other things are so small and all around and so far away from the center. And this is why there is all that mess inside France and mostly attached to different tiers because it's completely forgot some of them over there. But absolutely no, in Paris and I will say France in general. They're all pretty.
Well, what
open.
about like Italy in like the main place in like the main cities and stuff? Because like Milan is
Milan.
like the fashion capital of the world,
It
and that's
is,
where you were, isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah. It's very like absolutely. I mean, I worked when I was very young as a constructor, electrician because I left the school and I started to work, and then I had a very lucky moment in my life when I was working. When I was 19, and I was working to this big mall called Carrefour, and I was working for 1 year in Geox, and then I passed to Zara. I was working over there, and it's just passed this woman that she started to ask me stuff like clothes and everything. But the point is, in Zara, you signed a contract that it's not about sale assistant. It's more like a stock thing. This is why I don't know how it works here, but in Italy, when you go in Zara, you never ask to someone over there because you have the walls already separate with color. So you're looking something green, there is a green wall over there. So all the green, you will find it over there.
I think I've
That's
never
it.
looked anything for colors.
Right.
Except suits. Anyway, sorry.
You should check it out, by the way. It's very like separate for color and type. So you don't really need someone that it's going to help you out because everything is outside. Probably just for the size. If they have in stock, that's it. But also there, it's not really happen often because your job over there is just that looking for the size and something is missing, you just replace it. So it should be over there, everything. And I met this woman that was like, yeah, I need to go for the night. I have a dinner. And I was so tired about that work because my manager, she was such a bitch. Like, oh my God, that was the worst. And I hated so much. I always had a very bad relationship with women manager in my life. I don't know why. I found the worst. And I was like, hey, you know what? I don't care about her. I don't care about the job. I'm going to help you, woman. Come with me. So I just drive this woman around. She bought a lot of stuff. And at the end, at the cash desk, she told me, by the way, I'm the manager of human resources of Louis Vuitton. And you're an amazing sales assistant because you make me buy all these things. So you, this is my tickets. My business card, and you just come here and talk with me for the contract. Yeah. So I didn't know because I come from a very, it's very close to Milan, but it's called Rozzano, that it's a very, very bad city, very violent. Not anymore. It's a little bit better now.
They kill everybody.
Jesus, you don't have any idea. But I was like, I didn't know at all about fashion in general. So I went to in Via Monte Napoleone, that it's like the most famous street, very fashion in Milan. And there was this huge store sold with all luxury. I didn't speak even English. So I was like, I mean, why they want to talk with me? And they hired me. And then I just discovered my sexuality also a little bit more because that was the moment that I'm 19 years old. I finally faced how fashion is open for gay people. But still, there are some customers that strangely they don't want to be helped by gay people in that store, and it happened to me tons of time. Like, I don't want to work. I don't want to talk with people like you. So can you send me someone normal? Just happened twice, not in 4 years of work, but it really happened. Or like women really treat like shit from other culture. They're just like it's a mixed thing. Mostly are like also rich people that like people that are how can I say, like grown up with in general money. They're not very rude and they're not just very like show to everyone how they are rich. Yeah, they're mostly that they become rich immediately for a lucky moment or something, and they are full of regrets. They just want to show and throw up to the world how nice they are now, and just because they're being bullied. I don't know. Bullied. Yeah, thank you. Bullied from society or people because they know nothing, and this is the real moment for them, and they just get the first person that it happened, and they want to spend the money for Louis Vuitton because it's very common. Everyone knows Louis Vuitton, so it's like I need to show that I have Louis Vuitton, because you have tons of line Louis Vuitton. You have the LV, but you have also the most plain one. But people that wants to show that they have a Louis Vuitton, they're gonna take the monogram.
Yeah.
Right?
I heard about that.
Yeah. So this is it, and then you get sometimes the worst person ever because they just don't know how social relationship works in that kind of environment. Also that it's a little bit more quiet. It's more like it should be an experience, but some of them they just want to show you that you're nothing and they are something now. That's bad.
That's a very, very interesting, like it's an interesting story, and you were really lucky. There's just another question that popped in my mind. What was a Louis Vuitton manager doing in a Zara store?
Probably scouting talent.
Yeah, she was had how you call it? Headhunter. And I get there in the right moment, and it was like
she was not actually shopping. She was shopping for
you never know.
Yeah, absolutely.
You never know who somebody is, man. Like that's why I'm always blown away when I get like in anywhere, not just in service, but just like when people treat you like garbage when you don't really even know them. You're kind of like, why would you do that? You have no idea who I am. Like,
yeah, that's
I
the
could
thing,
be this person's kid that could just like fire you or like whatever. Like it doesn't matter.
No,
treat
absolutely.
people with common courtesy and decency.
Yeah, give possibilities to everyone. Like seriously, you really don't know what the guy in front of you passed through on who can be in your life.
Interesting.
It can be also an asshole.
Yeah.
And that will be the moment that you will get angry, but whatever. You can really have a big surprise.
They're not worth it.
And they always teach you something.
Yeah, it's true.
That's good.
Maybe that's where we'll cut it off for today. It's been a long chat. It's been a good chat.
Thank you.
Thank you very much to
inviting
Alex
me.
Guarino for joining us once
Thank you.
again. Make sure you guys check out Ripple on StoryHive.
Yes.
Right.
vote it.
Yeah,
And
from
vote.
the 3rd of April and 6th of April.
Yeah, make sure
day.
everybody gets out there and votes. I'm sure our substantial viewership will give you the bump you
We're
need.
gonna give more 6 votes for you guys. 6 votes that were not there.
Yeah.
Might be there, but
That's
it was
okay.
not.
I mean, I don't want to brag, but we could get a whole half dozen going.
I'm happy anyway.
All
Thank you
right.
so much,
Yeah.
guys.
Well,
for
yeah, you
this.
can pay us later for that.
And thanks to Joao for being my partner for these few months.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah, man.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much
And,
for having me here all week.
Hopefully
Almost every week, I would say.
Hopefully
Thank you
we
for the
can.
marvelous whiskey,
Yeah,
Canadian
whiskey.
Canadian liquor.
Hopefully we can take the Slackline mobile down to Brazil once it's big and making money, and we can go wherever we want.
Yeah, we already have an RV, so.
It's true. We'll drive her down to Brazil. That won't take me 3 weeks. All right. Thanks to everybody who's listening.
Thank you, everyone.
And make sure you're following the Slackline on Instagram at the.slack.line, on Twitter at slackline_radio, and on YouTube and iTunes at the Slackline Podcast. You've been listening to The Boss.
The boss is coming.
That's a made-up dumb fairy tale name, you
And JWoww
Wow.
for the final time. Goodbye, everybody.
Ah.
Thank you.